Hello friends, today we are going to start a short story journey. Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to do a bit of a casual check-in because honestly, I did not have the time I expected this month to really dedicate to this project, but I figured instead of tackling a different topic, why not just come at this very realistically right from square one? So if you watched my final video of 2022, I mentioned that I would be at long last tackling the short story in 2023. It's something I've always found to be really daunting, which sucks because short stories can be an author's greatest ally when it comes to submissions for blogs, magazines, anthologies, and as I've learned, just having something to read if you're hosting a reading or attending an open mic or anything like that. And just to go a bit deeper with those points, if you're wanting to get a full novel traditionally published, having a back catalog of already published works is going to be immensely helpful. I'm sure it's self-explanatory as to why, but basically, it'll show prospective publishers that you are wanted, that others have already decided to invest their time and energy in you. Plus, they'll be able to dig into reviews of your work, which hopefully will come out of that, and that will demonstrate also that people want to read what you're creating. For me, this is something I had a vague understanding of, but once I really dove into the world of publishing, it became so very clear that it is so very important. After traversing the literary landscape, I knew if I really wanted to build my skill and my name, I couldn't avoid short stories any longer. So, if you're like me, and short stories aren't your thing, let me be your wake-up call and make short stories your thing. Where my second point back there is concerned, when it comes to readings, a great thing you can do to build your audience is host readings. These can be online or they can be in person. And over the past few months, Pei and I have been hosting reading events at a local bookstore, and it became immediately apparent to me that I needed more than just excerpts from my novels to read to attendees. Excerpts are great when your reading event revolves around that book, but not so great when you're simply trying to entertain and build some general interest. Having a few one-off short pieces or some poems, they're going to get you a lot further than excerpts in that realm. So how do I plan on tackling the short story? Well, I started by just doing a Google search to see what other people have said about writing short stories. For some, it seems the easier route because there's not quite as much information and building necessarily that goes into a short story. But for me, as a character and world builder primarily, I think that that's the problem. I love big evolutions and slow burns and things that take, 300 pages to get across. I'm not so good at flashes of brilliance, which is how I see a well-written short story. If you go back a few videos, and I'll also link it up here, I've had exactly one flash of brilliance in the past year, and it's not even that brilliant. With oil painting, that thought exercise came to me in a moment and was written, I think, like 10 minutes later. Would we class it as a short story, though? It's iffy. It's 1 page long, and it's not really a story. It's like a journal entry. I guess technically it would be spoken word, and I did actually write it to be read out loud, so not even a short story. Which brings me to where I'm starting with the current short story that I'm trying to write. What I've done is taken the things that work with my longer pieces and also try to take what was happening in my mind with oil painting and combine those things together into my short story writing formula. These things I'm talking about are condensed outlining and vignettes. The vignette concept comes from oil painting. If I can write 1 page that I really like, why not start there and blend those pages together? So for my first attempted short story, I decided it would be 10 pages long, and each page would be a chapter and a sort of standalone vignette. But these vignettes, when combined, will all create a full story in the end, if that makes any sense. I know it might sound kind of funny that I'm most comfortable with 300 pages, scared of 10, but then okay again with 1, but that's just what my brain has decided to do. For the condensed outlining bit, when it comes to writer categorization, I class myself as a plantser. So I love to plot and dream about where my story is going to go, but it often veers off course once I really get into it. So for my larger novels, I write a little paragraph for each chapter and then I go from there. Sometimes I'll use Save the Cat if I want to be really precise with rising action, etc. But generally these paragraphs are just simple little explanations of what action needs to happen per chapter. They're about 3 to 4 sentences long. For the short story I'm writing, I decided to do the same style of outlining, but condense those outlines to only 1 sentence. And that's where I'm at. I can't actually tell you much about the story itself because it includes a major spoiler from my novel, A Time When Demons. Didn't really think about that one too much when I decided I was going to make my short story journey a public one. Oops. For the next check-in, I'll see about editing it though so that I can read you some without ruining too much of my other work, which I do hope you plan to read. While these check-ins will be monthly, if you'd like to work on short stories yourself and with me and join my journey, then you should follow my Discord link in the description below. We do short story sprints every Tuesday and then editing sprints every Thursday. Or rather, I try to and everyone else succeeds because I keep having other things come up, and then I think I spent one of those writing my short story this past month. But let's hope that'll be different in February. With that, thank you as always for stopping by. If you haven't yet, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell button so you actually get notified whenever I post new videos. And last but not least, I hope that you are having a day that is just as wonderful as you are. Bye.